Question 7 says graph the inequality y is greater than or equal to x squared plus 2x minus 15. So the first thing that you need to do is find the x-intercepts. So I'm going to use box diamond method. There are other ways, but we'll just start there. Let's make this a little bit thinner. So x squared will go on the bottom left. Negative 15 will go on the top right. In your diamond, negative 15 times x squared will be the top. So that's negative 15x squared. And the bottom will be positive 2x from the middle. So we need to figure out what multiplies to be negative 15x squared and adds to be 2x. So we know that 5 times 3 is 15, and then 5 minus 3 is 2. So now we just got to figure out the combination of negatives and positives. So we want 2 to be positive, so 5 and 3. The 5 is the bigger number, so that needs to be positive, and then minus 3. So, it's a little hard to see. Let's get that so it's easier. 5x and negative 3x. So 5x times negative 3x is negative 15x squared, and then 5x minus 3x is positive 2x. So I'm going to pull those over into the box over here, and then figure out the outside. So x times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15x. So to finish off finding the x-intercepts, I'm going to write this out as x plus 5 times x minus 3 equals 0, and then solve those two separate equations being equal to 0. So x plus 5 equals 0, solve that. So that's negative 5. And then x minus 3 equals 0, solve that. That's positive 3. So these are the places where the parabola hits the x-axis. So I'm going to go to negative 5 and put a dot, and positive 3 and put a dot. So then the next part is to find the y-intercept. So I'm just going to use a different color here. To find y-intercept, you're going to plug in 0 for x. So previously we plugged in 0 for y, now we're plugging in 0 for x. So 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 15. So y is going to be equal to negative 15 because all these pieces were 0 plus 0 minus 15. So negative 15 is here. Just a heads up, I know that on some of the practice you've done y-intercepts and some of them don't fit. The biggest thing is as long as the x-intercepts and the vertex fit on your graph, you're good to go. But yes, it is true there's been a couple questions where the y-intercept didn't fit on the graph, and we're sorry about that. Just sometimes getting the graph to fit on paper and look okay and get the y-intercept in there is hard. So vertex, you use the x-intercepts to help you find the vertex because the vertex is halfway in between those two. So I don't know if that's actually halfway, I just kind of drew it. But the way you're going to find that specifically is take the negative 5 and then add 3 to it. So that's negative 2, and then you're going to cut that in half because you want the middle of that. So that's your new x value. That's telling you where the x value is of the vertex. And then to find the y value, you're going to plug in the negative 1 into the equation. So negative 1 squared, make sure you're using parentheses. If you're not using parentheses, it's going to be a big issue there. So negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 15. So negative 1 squared is 1, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and then minus 15. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1, minus 15 is negative 16. So my vertex is negative 1, negative 16. And now I'm going to draw my parabola. Since there's a line underneath my inequality, that means my parabola will be solid, not dotted. And then now I got to figure out where to shade. So I personally like to test 0, 0 because it's easier to check it and then figure out if I shade there or not. So 0, 0 is on the inside. So I need to check to see if that is true or not. If it is true, I will shade there. If it's false, I shade on the outside. So testing 0, 0. So I'm going to put in 0 for x and y. So 0, is that greater than or equal to 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 15. So 0 greater than or equal to 0 plus 0 minus 15. 0 is greater than or equal to negative 15, so that means you do shade where 0, 0 is, so I'm shading on the inside. All right.